Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you guys are good today. Now, I thought I would go live today for my match preview against Bayer Leverkusen. Tomorrow we are going away to Bayer Leverkusen, and I'm really excited for this game. I think it's nice to go back into Champions League and have a different competition to put a focus on. And I'm going to go into this today with my lineup, my score predictions, and all of that stuff. I would love to hear what you guys have to say as well. I'd love to hear your guys' score predictions, your lineups, all of that stuff in the comments while you guys are watching my show. So yeah, obviously I'm really excited. Tomorrow the game is on. I think it's a bit of an earlier kickoff. Yeah, it's at 5:45 tomorrow, so a bit of an earlier one in the evening. But I'm really excited for this game. It'll be a very exciting one for sure. Like I said, I'm going to go into the lineup. I'll wait till a few of you might have joined. I know this is obviously streaming on Twitter as well. So if you guys want to join over on my YouTube channel, you're more than welcome to do that. But big up to the chat as well. Yeah, let me know your predictions. Someone says 3-0 to Arsenal. I love that score. I do think we're gonna win. I think I've got a similar one to you. I think it'll be a 2-0, 3-0. I think it will be a professional win for Arsenal in this game. I think we will win. Like I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, and get the job done in this game. Big up to the chat, big up to yourself. Wonder who's going to. Yeah, I mean, I do think we'll probably win. I mean, we are away on our first leg, so I guess if we did draw, it wouldn't be the worst result. I think we should win this. I think we've got some of our players back. I'm going to go into the lineup as well, but I think we should win this one. Really, I'm quite hopeful about this. I'm going to go into the lineup because let me know what you guys think as well. I'm going to go fairly strong for this because obviously against Mansfield Town, we didn't have the best performance, but we did rotate quite a lot and we were able to rest quite a lot of players. And in this game, I think it's a great chance to go a bit stronger for this one. So obviously in goal, I'm going to go back with David Raya. I do think David Raya is our number one for a reason. He's very good, and it'd be great to see him back. I just think Kepa knows he's probably more of a player that does help us in the cup games. So with that, I'm going to go with David Raya. Now the back four, I'm going to go with Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié. Obviously Hincapié. With Hincapié, it does seem like we are going to buy him permanently, which I think is a really big confidence booster for us. We know how important he is. He's been such an incredible player for us. So definitely bring him in the team for this one. Obviously Timber, who is so important for us at right back, and we know that amazing partnership with Saliba and Gabriel. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good defensive lineup for me, and it's probably our strongest lineup. I know Calafiori has been getting back into the team here and there, but for me, I would just like to see that back four. Now, the midfields, I would potentially make a few changes. It's difficult because Havertz is back, and we did see a really great partnership with him and Gyökeres. I'm interested to see if we can continue that and see how that goes. Eze obviously has scored in the FA Cup game, and obviously are we going to maybe rest him for games coming up? I'm not too sure what we're going to do, but I do think we're going to go quite strong. So obviously we'll bring Zubimendi and Rice back in. They obviously didn't play in our FA Cup game. They did have a big rest, so I do think for this one they'll be fit and available for this. And yeah, I think it'd be great to have them back because you do miss them when they're not in the team. You do really miss them, so definitely want to see them back in the team. Now this is where I'm a bit torn with sort of the attacking midfield position because for me, I'm thinking, do you go with Eze? Do you go with Havertz? I would probably like to go with a bit of a change for this one. I'd probably go with Havertz for me. I think Havertz and Gyökeres were building a really nice partnership, and I do think that it would be nice to see if Gyökeres and Havertz can build on this and see how they work in this game. I think, we are going to see a lot of rotations this period of the season. I think obviously because we're coming to the end with the league, last few games, and with the Champions League, we've still got a bit to go. So I think rotation is going to be so important for this team at this moment. So yeah, I'll go with Havertz and bring Eze on. Now the front three will be interesting. Now I'm going to go with Saka on the right. Obviously, we have seen Madueke, who did really good again in the cup game, but I do want to see how Saka can do in these games. He has been doing a bit better recently, but I just want to see him yeah, get a bit more involved and get more goals in these moments. And yeah, I think Saka knows how big these Champions League games are, so I would like to see him start. Obviously, what I've heard is that Trossard might be okay for this one, but I'd probably bring him off the bench to be safe. To be honest with you guys, so I would like to see Martinelli play this one, see how Martinelli does, because I do think this game you do want to really see a bit of pace, and I want to see Martinelli do better, because I do think again in the cup game when you expect him to step up, he didn't really do as good as I was hoping. So I'll go with Martinelli. I think he has a bit to offer. I just want to see Martinelli get on the score sheet or do something impressive. But again, if it depends if Trossard. I'm not too sure if Trossard how fit he is. That's my only worry. But I would go with Martinelli, and then up front I would go with Gyökeres. Now I know Jesus did get some minutes the other day, but I think with Jesus, I just don't think that he made the most of his opportunity the other day. Because I think if Jesus did really good, there'd be a conversation about giving him more chances, but I just think he wasn't up to it. So yeah, I want to see Gyökeres and Havertz both in the team. So with the injuries, I do want to read this out. Obviously we know Marino is injured. We know Marino's probably going to be out for maybe the rest of the season for a big while. Now the players that are in doubt I have seen on here is Odegaard, Ben White, Saliba, Trossard, Calafiori. But obviously I think Saliba and Trossard should be okay. With Calafiori, you just don't really know with him. I think his injuries are really kind of letting him down. I think, you can't help that is part of football. These injuries do happen, but I think it's a real shame for Calafiori, because I do think he is a top player. But injuries do happen. It is part of football. So we'll have to see what happens with him. But yeah, that seems as though the injuries that are in doubt. But obviously that is my lineup. Do let me know your lineup. I just want to read out the chat and read out your comments. Someone here said Raya, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, Hincapié, Zubimendi, Rice, Havertz, Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres. Yeah, that's pretty much the same as mine as well, other than Martinelli, which I'm still unsure on. But yeah, I think that's a good lineup. I think it's a very strong lineup, and I think with left hand side, it's not the best at the moment. I do think in the summer again we will need to bring in some upgrades, but I think for now you are going to have to pick with Martinelli, Trossard, and I'm not too. I think Trossard should be okay for this game. And he went off early in the cup game, but he has played quite a bit of football, hasn't he, anyway, this season. So yeah, I'd be interested to see which players are going to get those regular minutes in these games. But again, that is a very, very strong lineup. Big up to Tarot Gunner TV. Good to see you here. Big up to chat. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Hope all of you guys are good. Let me know your lineups. If you guys have got any questions for me, do let me know. Now, with the score, I did say before I do think it will be 2-0. Obviously, someone said 3-0. I do think we'll get the job done. I do think it will be a professional win. I think we have had a bit of time off with the cup. We've been able to rotate quite a lot. So I personally think we're going to be okay in this game. I do think we'll get the job done. Obviously, we're away from home, so you never know with the atmosphere. It might be a bit difficult, but I do think that we are generally in a good space at the moment, and I do think that we will get the job done. Obviously, if we do win quite comfortably, we can make some changes. We can see some other players come on off the bench. So, like I said, it's the round of 16 tomorrow. 5:45, and then on the Tuesday next week we play them again at home at 8 o'clock. So I think if we drew, it wouldn't be the worst result, but it would be nice to get the job done on the first leg and maybe rotate a bit, because obviously we've got a lot of competitions at the moment and we are wanting to win the League Cup. There's so much going on for us at the moment, but I think we'll get the job done. I'm not too sure what Arteta would do with the lineup. I'm not too sure what lineup Arteta's going to do, to be honest with you guys. I'd hope he would go quite strong in this one, but I think we have to go quite strong, to be honest with you. I think some of these bigger players did have a rest, and we've obviously got Everton as well coming up at the weekend, so I think we should go fairly strong. But obviously the midfield's always a tough one with Eze, Havertz. I think a lot of people have gone with Havertz. Yeah, so I think we should go with that, but I don't know. I mean, we might see Havertz up top, we might see Eze come in. We don't really know. But hopefully we'll get the job done for sure, and I'm really excited for the game. Obviously, I will be back tomorrow as well, guys, after the game. after kickoff. It is an early kickoff. I know some people prefer the 8 o'clock kickoff, but I will be back after as well to give you guys my instant match reaction, my thoughts on the game. So obviously do join me then as well, and drop in any questions you have for me at the moment. AFC Gunner says, "How are you feeling about the game?" Yeah, I feel fairly optimistic. I think we've had a bit of a rest, obviously, in the cup game. I know we weren't great, but we were able to rest the bigger players, especially in that midfield area. So I feel like we're in a good place at the moment. And yeah, I think we'll get the job done. Like, I don't think it's going to be easy, but I feel quite optimistic. And we've got players that you can bring on off the bench. And I think we're in a place at the moment where we're quite fortunate with these injuries that we've not had too many at the moment, and we're in a quite a good place. I mean, I'm not too sure if California is going to be available. Trossard hopefully will be available for this one, but we have had injuries, haven't we? We've had setbacks this season, but I think a lot of these players are here. And you look at the squad depth we have this season, we've got a much bigger squad depth. You know, you look at last season to season, we've got more players that are coming in now. You know, you've got Mosquera at centre back. You've got Ben White has always been one that I'm a bit unsure on. I think Ben White is a fantastic player, but I just think he can't stay fit. I think we are realising this season about players that can't stay, you know, available. I think with Califury, I think he is an excellent player going forward defensively. But I just think he's always going to be a player, a bit like Tomiyasu, that is amazing but does have these injuries that do sort of set him back a bit. But I think for mostly we do have players that can step in. You've got Lewis Skelly in as well. We haven't really seen a lot of Lewis Skelly this season, to be honest with you, which has been a shame. I'm hoping we might test something out maybe. Obviously we did see yesterday we do have Southampton away in the cup, so I'm hoping we're going to rotate a bit in certain games. So I do want us to give other players a chance. You've got Norgard as well. I think Norgard potentially knows that his role probably isn't to be a starter, but just to add the experience and help the team when he does come on and play. So I think it's going to be a good game. Like I said, I do think we'll get the job done. I would be amazing, wouldn't it, to get a clean sheet? I would love to get a clean sheet away from home, but I feel okay as well. You know, the first leg is actually going to be away. I think if we can get the job done away, we will be good. Like, that would be amazing. But yeah, I think we just need to either keep it close, whether it's a draw or just nick a win, or either just find a way to win it, you know, when we do play at home, because the home leg is actually the week after. So there's not actually a big gap really in that. So yeah, I'm really excited for the Champions League. I mean, let me know if you guys think we can win it, because I think with the Premier League, I do think I have my more of a focus on that because we're so close to doing it. But I do think we've got a great chance to win the Champions League. We've really got a great chance to win every competition we're in, and I never thought I would really say that, and it does feel amazing to say that, because I do think we've got a great chance to win these trophies. Obviously, we are in the cup final. And with the Champions League, I think it depends on luck. I think you've got to have the luck of the draw a little bit. And obviously, when I saw we had by Leverkusen, I was quite happy about that. I think it's definitely a winnable fixture and a winnable game. But we'll have to see how we do in the first leg first, and then we'll have to see how we can do when we come back home at the Emirates. My prediction, because AFC says my prediction is 2-0. What about you? Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2-0. I think possibly 3-0, but I'll go 2-0. I think it's going to be quite a professional win. I think these players are more than capable of getting the job done in this game. I think we will win this one. But again, I don't think it will be like an easy win. I think we're going to have to really work for it. But I think with the players that we have, I do think we can get the job done in this one. So yeah, I love to hear predictions, guys. I just want to check if there's any more news regarding Arsenal, but looks like a lot of players might be available for this. So I'll just read out from what I've seen online. So with Saliba, he remains sidelined with an ankle injury, and his involvement against Bayer Leverkusen is in doubt. Obviously, he was ruled out against Brighton on Wednesday as Mosquera stepped in into defence of Gabriel, and he missed that trip. So Saliba will be in doubt for this one. I think with Saliba, like, I don't think it's the end of the world if he can't be available, because we do have Mosquera. We've got him to step in. We've also got Calafiori who can play there. So I don't think it's the end of the world, but it would be a shame if he couldn't play, because Saliba has played a lot of football this season for Arsenal. He has had quite a busy schedule, but I do think we need to make sure if he isn't available, give him a rest, and hopefully Mosquera can step in. I know Mosquera has struggled in some games this season, other games he's done good, so it has been a bit of a mixed bag from him as well. But hopefully, Saliba might be okay, but we're only going to see when the kickoff happens. So with Trossard, as we do know, he went down in a Mansfield game, and it did look a bit of a sore one for him. So I was a bit actually surprised he started in a way, but again, on the left, we don't really have many options. So he went down before half time. Now he is another one where he could be available. He might be in doubt. I'm not too sure of Trossard. So yeah, he was replaced by Nkape. He did look in a bit of pain. So hopefully, Trossard maybe on the bench. I wouldn't want to rush him back if he's not 100% fit, but I do think that he is an important player to have in this team. So Calafiori is another one. Not long after Trossard's withdrawal, Calafiori joined his teammate on the sidelines. I think, you know, when you watch that game, he was signaling to come off a bit, and it's, again, I've spoken about this. It's worrying for Calafiori because he is a great player, but he's not reliable. You can't really rely on him to stay fit. So I do have my doubts about him. If I'm being honest, I do worry about him. You know, you want him to be available, you want him to stay fit. So he is someone that I do worry about a bit. Obviously, speaking after the game, when he was asked about Tross and Calafiori, Arteta said both of them had little niggles. They weren't comfortable continuing, and we had to take them off. So that's another one where I'm still unsure if they're going to be available for that. So we are going to have to see if Calafiori is going to be available. There's quite a few players that are going to be in doubt for this one. Odegaard has had many injuries this season. He has been quite inconsistent with the injuries, and I think it's been a real shame because I really wanted him to step up the season. I really wanted to see the best of him this season, but I think it's been really tough for him. But there is an update. Let me just read this one out. So Odegaard could be sidelined until April, according to Norway boss. The club captain played no part against Chelsea, Brighton, and Mansfield Town. With Arteta explaining last week that Odegaard was still not feeling totally comfortable with a knee injury sustained in a draw with Brentford. Odegaard previously missed 2 months of an injury hit season. With obviously we know with those injuries that he had to his left knee. So with him, let me just read out. So Odegaard's potential return date seems it could be April the 11th against Bournemouth. So I think Arteta spoke here, and it says the most important thing, he recovers completely and is good for us in the summer. For those of us who care about the World Cup, it's not a disaster that he's getting some breaks now. He's going to rebuild and be crucial for Arsenal in April/May or maybe late March. So obviously we don't really know his return date. Like I said, it does seem as though it could be April time, but it's a real shame, I do feel like, because I think he is a valuable player to have. I mean, I know he's not really someone I would start at the moment if he was available. I think Eze or Havertz will come before him, but do you think he is going to have an important role from April? I think he just needs to help us with goals. He needs to help us get through these games that we might be struggling in. Now the last one, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so maybe 2 more players. So Ben White. It's a real shame, Ben White, because Timber's played so much football. You do want Ben White to get in there and have some minutes, but Ben White has not played since the 4-0 win over Wigan, which does actually feel like such a long time. He's been out for such a while, which was in the 4th round. He's been sidelined with a minor knock. Arteta simply told reporters last week that Ben is not available ahead of the now win against Brighton, and he was absent against Mansfield Town in the FA Cup. It still remains unclear as to when the defender will be available for selection again. So that is a bit of a weird one with Ben White. Like, it's gone quite quiet on him. Like, we don't really know what is happening with him. So Ben White, I'm assuming, won't be available for this game. I do wish him a speedy recovery. And it's a minor knock, so it doesn't seem too serious. He has been out this season with quite a few injuries, so I do hope that he's okay and he can take the rest and recovery he needs. But it's again another issue, really, isn't it? Because you do look at Timber and you think who can take his place when he needs a rest. Timber's had to play such a big schedule of football this season. So I think we're gonna have to think in the summer which players do we need to move on, because we need players that we can rely on, like we really, really do. And I don't think some of these players are players that you rely on. You have to be ruthless in football. We've done that with Tomiyasu, and it's obviously not nice to do. So yeah, I think with Ben White, it's a worrying situation. So yeah, I do hope he can come back soon, because I do think we need him. I think this time of the season is going to be such a crucial time, especially with you know, trying to win the league. We're so close. We've got the cup final, so in the Champions League, we've also got a great chance to win that. So we need to do our best, in my opinion. So hopefully Ben White will be back soon. Obviously, we know Marino has been sidelined for a little while now, and obviously his return date is unknown. So hopefully, I don't know if he's going to be back at any point in May, April, May time. I just don't really know. And that's a real shame, because I do think Mourinho did have an important role in this team at Arsenal. I do think that he was helping us score goals. He was just helping us in those moments, and he was such an underrated player in this team. And I'm real gutted for him, and I'm sure he's gutted himself that he is absent in these games. But that is pretty much the injury updates. I'm not really surprised by that. I'm hoping, obviously, realistically, Trossard, Calafiori, Saliba, maybe they'll be back on the bench. But I think going forward, I do think Hincapié is going to be our left back for the rest of the season. I think Calafiori just can't stay available, and I think it's going to be a conversation that we may have to have in the summer, because, like I said, we need players that are going to be available for us, and that's going to be the most important thing for us. But obviously, guys, I'm going to spend the rest of this time now to answer any questions you guys have for me. That is obviously my lineup, my score predictions. I'll just go through my lineup quickly. Like I said, I've gone with Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel. Obviously, if Saliba isn't available, I will go with Mosquera. Then Nkape at left back. The midfield of Zubimendi, Rice, Saka, Havertz, Saka on the wing. Sorry, Saka, Martinelli. Martinelli, Trossard, I don't really know. It depends on Trossard's fitness. If Trossard's fit, I'd probably play him. And obviously, I'd go with Gyökeres up top. So let me know, guys, your predictions. But obviously, that's my prediction. My line, I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal. But I'm going to answer some questions now for a little while. Big up to AFC 101 says, which players would you move on this summer? That is a really good question. That's a tough one. You know what? I think there's a few players that I would move on. Ben White is one that I'm probably thinking that would be maybe a good thing to do. I think with Ben White, I think you look at the players that we have maybe on the bench, I do think to myself, like, he can't stay fit, he's not available. And, I do feel bad for Timber sometimes, because Timber is playing so much football, and, I'm not saying he shouldn't be playing all the time, but I think with Timber, he does deserve a break. And it's like in the cup game the other day, we had to bring him on because we were struggling. So I feel like we need someone at right back that can help Timber out, give Timber a bit of a rest, and we can rotate, because I do think he is, we are playing a lot and he's had a big schedule. So Ben White, I'd probably say potentially move on. Calafiori, potentially. I would probably say Ben White, Calafiori again, a great player, but he can't stay fit, and we need players that we can rely on, because I think with Lewis Skelly, I look at Lewis Skelly and I think to myself, he's definitely more of a player in midfield. I don't really think of Lewis Skelly as left back. I mean, no, he can play there, but I think he struggles at left back. So I think Lewis Skelly going forward should play in midfield. But I think you look at left back, we are a little bit, struggling there with positions. So I'd probably say them two specifically. I know we probably have players that might be on loan. I'm trying to think what other players that I would potentially move on. I wouldn't move on a lot of players. I'd probably just maybe move on a few. But those are two on the back of my head I can think of. Let me just have a look at the squad, because I don't want to forget anyone. Like, I'm all for squad depth. I do want us to have that squad depth. Let me just have a look. I think there's players that you would have as squad players that you would want to keep. I think Norgard's going to be very valuable and important for us in the next few seasons. Would keep him. Guarneri, I do wonder what will happen with Guarneri. I would definitely like to bring him back to the team. I'd love to see him fight for his place. I think with Guarneri, I feel like he definitely has a future. I think he's obviously on loan to prove himself now, but I would love to see him really go out there and, fight for his place at Arsenal, because you look at our attacking midfield position, or even on the right hand side, you got Saka, you got Madueke, but again, we need someone who can really help us and take us to another level. But with Waneri, he can definitely fight for his place. I really want to see him at Arsenal. I think those are the ones I can think of with the top of my head. I think with Odegaard, it's difficult really, because this season Odegaard has never really got going, has he, due to the injuries? And I suppose when he hasn't been injured, I don't think he's ever got going anyway. So I think with Odegaard, I'd be open to moving him on in the future if he doesn't improve. But because of the injuries he's had, I'd maybe keep him. But I do think the captaincy is a bit of an issue. Like, I'm not sure he would be the right captain for us. He's not fit. He can't stay fit, can he? So that's another big problem for us. But that's the players I can think of. But I just want to read out your comments. So big ups to the chat. Obviously, guys, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and dropping any questions you have. I'll probably be on here for about 15 more minutes today. Big up to Bruin AFC says, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. I hope you're good. Could say the same at California's. Yeah, California can't stay available. I think him and Ben White are in a very similar position. So I think we should think about the future, to be honest with you, because, it's always sad when it doesn't work out, California. I feel like we've just bought California. I don't think we'll move him on, but this is just my opinion. I think he can't stay fit. He's not available, and I think that's a bit of a problem, really, for us, if we want players that we want to rely on. If Timber gets a big injury, who's going to step in and help us? We have played Declan Rice there, but we know we need Declan Rice in midfield. So, interesting one. Liverpool losing 1-0 after 8 minutes. I forgot who Liverpool played. I forget it's Champions League football. I know there's a lot of football on tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, Galatasaray. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I know there's Champions League football on tonight, which I'm going to try and watch, but we obviously play tomorrow, which would be nice. I know it's a bit of an early one in the evening. So obviously Newcastle, Barcelona at 8. They'll both be really good games, actually. I'm really interested to see how they're going to go as well. Big up to Born AFC says, California's Tomiyasu vibes. Yeah, he does. And it's a shame, isn't it? I remember when Tomiyasu was here, I loved him. Ever since he had his debut, I was just in awe of him. And I just thought to myself, after a while, he just couldn't stay fit. And I just felt to myself, it's a real shame, because I do really value him. I do really like you. And I think you've got to do what's best for the club, if we're being honest. Tomiyasu couldn't stay fit. He knew that himself. And obviously, he's gone now. So I think with California, I do think we should have these conversations, because he was Califury for the start of the season, was able to stay fit for a big chunk of the season, but then he's not been. I feel like these last few months, he just can't stay fit at all, and I think that's a big problem for us. So I think we have to be honest about these things, and I don't know I don't even know if he's going to be available for this game. We just don't know at this point. But it's a sad situation. I think, yeah, he's made of glass. He is. I think some players, can deal with the fitness and the intensity of the league, and I think other players just struggle with it. It's a lot of football. A lot of the time, you're going to be playing twice a week, and some of these players just can't deal with that, and that's tough, but you're going to have to find a way to deal with that. So yeah, I think for me it's a sad one, but I think we have to keep our options open about him. In the summer, we have to think, is he going to stay fit that next season? Because last season, we have to remember, he couldn't stay fit then either. So I do think that we have to really think about things like that. We wasn't able to stay fit last season. This season, I was actually hoping he would stay fit this season, because he did have a big chunk of the season where he was fit and available. But it just seems as though now that he's not been able to do that, which is a shame, because again, I've been really enjoying watching California this season. I do think he's a player that is quite exciting to watch going forward as well as defensively. I think he's definitely improved. But again, if you can't stay fit, I don't know if you have a place here at Arsenal, we need players that are going to be available, that are going to help us. So yeah, that is definitely a shame. I don't think there's many players that I would move on, really, if I'm being honest. I don't think there's a lot I would move on. I think a lot of these are going to be more squad players. I think if you're looking in a few seasons, you're going to have to look at which players you might move on. But I think for now, um, I mean, actually, Jesus, I forgot about him. We might move him on. I would probably move him on if I'm being honest with you guys, but I would probably bring someone else in. I do think this summer, sorry, we have to focus on the attacking players that we have to bring in attacking players, because I think this season I do feel like we've spent over these past years, we spent so much of our time with the defensive players. I think we need to invest now on the attack. So yeah, not many players I would move on, but I think Calafiori, Ben White, and maybe Jesus are players that I would think about. But again, we don't need to make major changes. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what we actually do in the summer. Big up to Panache, great to see you here. Hope you're good. Hope you're having a great day. Obviously, big up to the chat as well to those that are watching this. I pretty much just chatting before I go in about 10 minutes. Just thought I'd answer any questions or talk to you guys after because I've done my obviously my lineup and that. But obviously, I will be back as well tomorrow. For my match review. Hopefully we'll get the job done, but I will be back after that as well. Jesus also made of glass. You have to try and sell him. Yeah, I would sell him if I'm being honest. I think you have to be brutal in these moments in football. You're gonna have to be brutal. You need money at the end of the day, and you're gonna have to do that. So yeah, I think we might have to consider that, because I would be happy to bring in another attacking player. I know is they've got as a striker you got Matt Marino, you've got Gyökeres, you've got Havertz. I know Havertz can play midfield, but I think it would be great to have maybe another striker, another attacking player. I think the left hand side, the right hand side could do with a bit more um work done on that. But yeah, I think it's a shame with some players. Jesus has been here for a little while, so I mean, I think we just need to see what we might do in the summer. Big up to Boring AFC. Hopefully Arteta will get the job done tomorrow so he can take it easier next week ahead of the Carabao Cup final. Yeah, I mean, I think again, with the lineup I've gone for, it's a strong lineup. But I do think if we are going to win this one quite comfortably, you can rotate. Like you said, great point. You can rotate in the next game, because we play them again next week, so we can rotate in that one. I think the cup final is going to be really interesting. Like I think you're going to have to go really strong. With like our strongest lineup, it's difficult because I think our strongest lineup would be. It's difficult as a striker, is it Havertz, is it Gyökeres? I don't really know at this point. Um, I think, Trossard, maybe Gyökeres, Saka, and then midfield, would you go Havertz, Torres, Zoom, Mendy, Rice, and the back four, we know, and Raya. So I think we're going to have to go really strong with that cup final. But unfortunately, we have league games coming up in between, so we don't have much of a break. Our schedule is going to be quite busy. We've got Everton on Saturday at home, and then we've got so next Tuesday we have Leverkusen at home, and then we have that cup game's the big one. That cup game is the big one. That I'm really excited for that. That actually feels really nice to be actually in a final. Feels nice to be in a competition like that. So I'm really excited for that. I'm doing well, thank you. Hope you and yours have been good. Yeah, all good, thank you. Always good to see you in here as well. We should be winning tomorrow easy enough if we put a strong team out. We should. Yeah, I think we should win 2 or 3-0. I'm expecting us to get the job done tomorrow. I'm hoping that it will be a I think it should be a professional win. Like I think it should be a 2 or 3-0. I'm really hoping it will be. I think we need to get the job done, and hopefully on the second leg we can maybe rotate if we do get the job done. I mean 3-0 would be great, but I think it's probably going to be more maybe a 2-0. But yeah, a win's a win, and I think we need a win in that first leg. There's a good player in Jesus, but his injuries have taken their toll. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? I mean, I think he's just had a lot of injuries. It's difficult. I think he's inconsistent, but I think when he shows up, he's really, really amazing and he's incredible. But I think the biggest issue definitely is the injuries. It's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame, really. I do feel bad for him with these injuries, but it is part of football, and he has been here a while, hasn't he? I want to see how old he is because I feel like he's a lot older than what I think. Yeah, he's 28, so maybe this is the right time to move him on. I don't know. I don't want to completely change the team because you do need that experience. You do need to have, um, a lot of these players, but it's a tough one. We are probably going to maybe move on a few players. I hope we do bring Waneri back. I think I'd give Califoy a bit of time because we're seeing what a Josh player can be. Yeah, I do think he is a great player. Like, I mean, before he got injured, if you asked me who's been your player of the season, I'd probably have said him because I was just amazed by him. I think he makes it look so effortless, going forward defensively. Every part of his game I've loved, and then he hits that injury, and he gets other injuries, and I think it's just a shame, isn't it, with him? Because I do think there's a great player in him, but I don't know. I mean, it's difficult because if we give him more time and next season he has injuries, it's a tough one, isn't it, really? I do like him, but I'm sort of not 100% about selling him, but I'm open to it. I'm open to both, really, but I think Ben White might be someone that we possibly could move on. I don't know, it's tough, isn't it? It's just about fitness, and we need availability in this team, and unfortunately we're not having that at the moment, so yeah, it's a tough one, really. I mean, you look at players like Nkape, and he's done amazing, and he's been so fit. Some of these players do struggle with the lot. Played so much football this season. And there'll always be certain players that will be out for times in the season. We know that obviously Gabriel and Saliba have had their time, Saka, but we know mostly they are going to be available and they are going to stay fit. So that's another thing we have to consider. Which players will be reliable on, which players won't be, and that's a tough one. But yeah, I think for the season, I think we just need to get behind the players and hopefully they can really help us. I mean, Odegaard's another one. I hope Odegaard can help us when he's back. It seems so with Odegaard, he's possibly going to be back April. So I think with Odegaard, when he does come back, I think he's going to have a big role to play in this team. He's going to have to help us get through those tougher moments and, yeah, help us get over the line with goals, with his creativity. We're going to see a lot of rotation over these next few games, so I'll have to see. But obviously, guys, do make sure you drop in any questions as I'm going to be ending this in about 5 minutes' time. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow for my match review, which will be after the game. Obviously, it's a 5:45 kickoff, so I will be back after the game. Obviously, drop in any questions now, or make sure you guys are liking as well, subscribing, and obviously big up to everyone that has watched my show today. But for all intents and purposes, we need to upgrade our attack, even if that means moving on likes of Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus. Yeah, I think our attack is probably our biggest problem. I think Martinelli, Trossard, one of them is definitely going to leave. I know that for sure. Like, I think we've got to move one of them on. I think it's probably going to be Martinelli. I think we would probably get more from Martinelli. I do think that, I mean, for all we know, both of them might want to leave, and they both have been here for a while now. Martinelli has been here for a while, so things are going to change. It's part of football, so I'm not surprised if both of them move on. But I think we have to replace them. Obviously, we have to bring in better players on the left. The left-hand side is definitely a side where it could be seen as a weakness. Again, I actually do think our right-hand side could be upgraded as well. Like, I'm not saying Saka should be out of the team. I think we should have someone that can take us to another level to help Saka improve his game. I think Madueke, I think from what I've seen this season, I think Madueke is great and he definitely brings the energy, life into the game. He can get you goals, but I think with him, is he more of a squad player? I'm not. That's what you have to think about. But I think we could do a few attacking players this summer, even if we do keep some attacking players. But I do think Martinelli Trossard will go. Jesus, I'm not sure. I think we should move him on, but will we? I'm not too sure if we're going to do that. I think Arteta likes him, and I think that Jesus might be just happy helping out the team. But I do think that I could see Jesus going to like a Saudi. I don't know where Jesus would actually go, to be honest with you, but I could see him moving to a team like that. Agreed, Odegaard has a big role to play. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I know he might not be a starter when he comes back, but I do think that Odegaard is a very good player. I know he might not be the player he was a few seasons ago, and that might take him time to get back there. But I do think he's got that creativity. He can score those incredible goals. I feel like he needs confidence, and I do feel like he's been out injured for such a while, and I do think we need to ease him back in. But he definitely has a role to play for this team. I'll give your comments there, Panache. Big up, Panache. Big up to the chat. Yeah, actually, I think it was Havertz's birthday. I try to think. It was a double birthday for Arsenal. I think it might have been. Let me just have a look. I know it was Madueke's birthday today. I think it was also another Arsenal player's birthday. Let me just check on Twitter. Yeah. So let me just look now. So Madueke's birthday. Oh, it was Norgard's birthday today. So, yeah, obviously happy birthday to Norgard and Madueke. Yeah, that is funny having two Arsenal players have the birthday on the same day. Hopefully, we'll get the job done for them, and hopefully they'll have a nice birthday. Yeah, I love that. Arsenal have scored 100 goals this season. 50 of them goal and assists have come from Eze, Madueke, Gyökeres. Many don't sleep on. Yeah, those two signings, they have actually helped us. I can't deny that they've had a part to play. I mean, Eze is definitely getting more goals at the moment, and I think Gyökeres is definitely improved. And I think Gyökeres, like I've always said, has been someone that has taken time to adapt, but I think he's doing a great job, and I think he's doing good. So yeah, I think our signings have definitely helped us this season. I think they've really made a big difference. I completely agree with you there. And you look at the goals we've scored, people wouldn't believe that because of the way we've played, but we can actually score some great goals from open play, from set pieces. We can really do that. And again, Zubimendi has been scoring some amazing goals. So yeah, that was obviously amazing. Those goals. So yeah, I think Zubimendi is has been a great signing. I think they've all been really great signings. May I say today was my birthday as well, 10th of March. Happy birthday, Panache. Thank you for letting me know. I hope you've had a great day. Let me know in the chat if you've done anything nice. Arsenal have had to adapt to Gyökeres too. Yeah, I think it's definitely been a two-way street. I think Gyökeres had to adapt to Arsenal, and Arsenal have had to adapt to him. I think it's been tough, but I'm hoping next season with Gyökeres, like he's gonna get even better. He knows what these players like. He knows what this league's like now. So really hoping that he will go from strength to strength for next season, and he will get even better. So yeah, I think Gyökeres. I guess I don't know what I expected before we got Gyökeres. I think with Gyökeres, I think I predicted 20 goals. I think I knew he would probably find it a bit difficult with the league because the league is very competitive, and I think a lot of people maybe had high expectations of him, whereas I didn't really. I don't think I had too much high expectations. I think he has in the league he was in. He had a lot of open space, and though in the league it's not like that. It's quite more defensive, and you won't get as much space. So I think I knew it was always going to be quite different. But I think so far he has done good. Big up Nachi says, thank you so much. I've had a lovely dinner outing with the family. Oh, I love that. I'm glad you've had a great birthday. But yeah, obviously, guys, do join me tomorrow. I will be back. After the game, I'm really hoping we do get the job done. But yeah, I'm excited to actually, talk about Champions League because I know we've done a lot of focus on the Premier League. So it's good to have that in focus, which will be a 2-leg game. The first leg is tomorrow. So really excited for that. But thank you to everyone that has watched my match preview. I have really enjoyed chatting with you guys today. It's been great to do this video. So thank you to anyone that has tuned in, watched this. I really, really appreciate it. And obviously thank you for all you guys in the chat that have asked me questions or just joined as a community. It's been great to chat with all of you. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys do have a great day, night, whatever you are. Please do make sure you guys smash a like on this video if you haven't already. Please do make sure you subscribe as well. Be up to Born AFC, be up Panache. Great to see you guys in here as always. Thank you to everyone, and I will see you all very soon.